Hey everyone, can you see me and hear me? Let me know in the chat. Hey Shruti, Aarti is also here. Awesome. Okay, I see a bunch of you are already here. Um, Okay, so if you guys are new here and this is your first Q&A call, welcome. The team has started showing up on Q&A calls with me from last week. We introduced them last week and I'm excited to answer all of your questions today. So if you're new here, let me show you how it works. We collect your questions beforehand on the day of the Q&A. The Q&A times are Wednesday, 6 p.m. IST, and we collect the questions beforehand. And so everything is organized. And the best way to get your questions answered is to pre-submit it, give all the details to ensure your question is answered. Once I answer these questions, I'm going to go ahead and answer all of the questions you put in the chat right now. So you can do that. But like if the questions are more, our end time is 7 p.m. So then, there's a risk of not getting your question answered, which we don't want. So submit your questions beforehand. All right, let's get started. It's just about 6 p.m. now. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first one is from Takshi. A client from the food and beverage industry wants to expand her engagement. Expand her engagement. So is this for like your social media channels? That's what it looks like. So for increasing engagement in the comment section, I have covered this in the IG module, the organic posting, how you write captions. At the end, you want to ask them a question or you want to ask them to comment below with their thoughts. Ask them a relevant question so that you are asking for their opinion, and obviously create high quality content that they would actually want to interact with. That is really important. Other than that, I highly recommend searching for similar accounts, see what kind of content they produce and modeling after that. As for giveaway ideas, I'm not a huge fan of giveaway, to be honest, because it just takes a lot of work and people follow each other for a while, yes. But then they like, if they are just following you for a gift or a prize, they're going to unfollow pretty soon. So it doesn't work in the long term. In the course, I always want to teach you strategies which are long term, which are scalable, which anyone can do and replicate again and again and again. So like that is what is important. So I am against giveaway ideas, but and I've never done one. I don't like the amount of effort which goes in, and the return um, is not worth it for me. I would rather create ads one time which give me leads and sales again and again and again. Or I could create content which is actually valuable to people and they would want to do the action I want them to do anyways. So that kind of goal is important. What is your actual goal? There is no goal that only this giveaway can solve. There are like your goal, whatever it is, be it more followers, more engagement, there's so many other legit long-term ways to get it done. So yeah, that's what I would say on that. Okay, my client wants to run an ad for Cloud Kitchen. What is Cloud Kitchen? $1 billion opportunity. That first line itself looks like a scam to me. Like that is the exact sentence that people who are scammers or MLM people would use. Why would you want to use that, right? So Facebook is gonna disapprove it. Like it's different. It's a second matter that you didn't get leads. You didn't get leads because the ad copy is spammy. Um, I think this is MLM, multi-billion dollar delivery plan brands. What is this thing? Like, can you explain a little bit about the offer itself? I think from looking at it that it is MLM, but yeah, like what you will learn and all is good, but see this multi-billion dollar and this thing is my issue. Apart from that, the copy is fine. Too many emojis in my opinion, too many emojis, which makes me again makes me feel like this is a spam. So not a lot of emojis should be used. You can add some social proof, especially if it's a new brand, like this person attended this webinar and this is what they said. A couple of text testimonials on the ad itself would do well. Um, yeah, it obviously also depends on the kind of creatives you're using your ad results. But since it's not attached, I can't review it, but these are my thoughts on copy. Hey, Ruth, I'm planning to launch my online course. So the best way to launch a course is to start building your audience either on social media or on your email list. Actually, email list should always be there. Like obviously you attract people on social media, but then your end goal is to bring them on the email list so you can promote to them again and again. It really depends. See, there are a bunch of strategies taught in the course for marketing things. If you and usually courses do well with the webinar funnel strategy, but like it also depends on the price of your course. If your course price is really less, like a low ticket price below $100, then you can just do away with doing an SLO funnel, or you can just give value on your social media, bring them to the email list, send a 5-day email sequence to sell your $100 product. But if it's like higher than that, $500 or up, then you may consider doing the webinar funnel. So that's what you can do. But all of the strategies of like Instagram that I've taught you about growing your following, putting out value-based content and bringing them onto your email list is still going to apply over here even before you decide on a funnel and create a funnel. So I would recommend you get started with IG followers, bring them to your email, do some email marketing, and then sell them what you want to sell them. Okay. Copy review. Preparing for GRE and struggling with reading comprehension questions. When I struggled with these kind of questions too, not I too, but two should be at the end. Instead of saying aiming for a top university, maybe you can say something like aiming for a reputed master's program or something like that. Because top university can be like, it's quite vague. Okay, this is good. So this wording can be improved a little bit. Okay. So here you can kind of do something like, I don't want you to go through the pain that I went through. I get how tough it is to crack this comprehension thing, and don't let comprehension mess up your goal of studying in a top reputed college. It can be worked on. I can help you be better at this. There is a strategy, there is a blueprint for this that you can follow, and I'm willing, or I'm happy to share all of this in my whatever freebie it is, and then you do it. Okay, simple steps. So this is supposed to be one sentence. Like there's definitely improvement in the copy, but like the grammar doesn't flow. It should flow like from one to the next sentence, so that you can improve. Yes, this is good. You can also do something like my blueprint to ace reading comprehension section of GRE, something like that. So yeah, a couple of headlines, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Okay, should we go for single interest broad or very narrow targeted ad set? What is POD business? It depends. Like if it's a local audience, then you can just be doing it anything like a few thousand is fine. But if your audience is like countrywide and things like, or anyone can use it, then it currently audiences which are above 500K or even above 1 million are doing well. The thing with especially CBO is you want to combine, not combine, you want to have ad sets which have which are similar in size. So for example, your CBO has 3 ad sets which I recommend, right? Minimum 3 ad sets. So one cannot be 1 million, another cannot be 10,000, and third cannot be like 100K. So it has to match. Otherwise, CBO will just blindly give preference to the bigger audience, because right now Facebook is craving for more flexibility, because obviously Facebook is smarter than any one of us. So if we give it flexibility, it's gonna find the right audience for your kind of business who's going to be interested in your ads. So that is what is recommended. So this is a very specific reason for this. The impression is not increasing is weird, because then if impression is not increasing, that means it's not spending. So it's not spending, then you just have to like see why it is not spending. For retargeting, there's another strategy of why things don't spend. But I think this, what you have is a cold audience. I'm not sure. I think it's a cold audience, since you said interest targeting. For cold ad, it could be that your ad is not good enough, or it's losing in the auction process, and that is why Facebook is not preferring it. But it's very hard for cold ads to not spend. So either you can shut off ad set, shut on, do the same thing with the campaign, see what could be the issue, if the setup is right, check if you're actually checking the right date range or not, because sometimes people make that mistake. But for this specific thing, I got 6 t-shirts here the first day. Whenever you do cold ads, Facebook at the very start will go ahead for your warm audience, people who have already interacted with your brand, people who probably follow you on social. So it's not completely cold. Okay. So Facebook at the start will go ahead for warm people, because it wants to give you conversions. It wants you to spend more money, right? That's the goal of Facebook. So it will go after warm people, which is great. But when actually ads start going to actual cold audience, that is the real test of a funnel or the campaign. So that could be the reason why no sales, maybe the ad or the stuff is not just good enough. So you can post the ad for review in the group, but for now, this is what I'll say. Usually at this point of time, it's not really the audience. Like the actual problem would much less be the audience than it would be the actual offer and the kind of ads that she's doing, or the bait is not right. uh, it depends. Like for 7-day free trial, we don't want to do a lot, right? Something which takes minimum effort and gives maximum results. um, so what are her goals? It looks like her goals are sales, obviously. So you can just create a retargeting campaign. Since she has a pixel, do a retargeting campaign that will hopefully bring you a bunch of sales, because retargeting campaigns do really well. So you can do carousel kind of retargeting campaigns to people who have already visited the add to cart page or product pages, and then convert them on the purchases. She's about to launch her clothing brand. For this one, you can just like do IG follower growth, because that's what she wants to grow on. And it's stupid to spend money just growing on FB, because it's not worth it. Like for FB growth, it's better to have it done in a secondary manner. For example, we run a lot of ads, but we never optimize for page likes. People come and like our page because they see our other ads, like workshop ads and IG ads and things like that. But that is not our main goal. So I would actually do IG growth. Instagram module will guide you through it. But yeah, I think you can, for this one, you can do a free trial, but for this one, I think you should charge, because IG growth, yes, you can do it for you can give a 1 week IG growth trial, and then you can upsell her for the rest of the month. It depends on what the landing page wants to do. Well, obviously, if you're giving two different baits to people, you cannot do it via the same landing page, right? So if it's a different bait, then it's obvious that it needs a different landing page. Yeah. I would, so I'll just, you didn't ask for how the bait is, but I'll just say still that the bait is not good enough. You can do better. Like give them some value first. And instead of going after 3 different niches, why not focus on one? Like maybe you are more confident with web development. So, and you're learning marketing now, but like use marketing to get web dev clients. You can do that, right? So splitting your focus, time, energy, and money into 3 different niches is not gonna bring the best kind of results. Choose one, pick one, the one which has the most testimonials, pick that, and the one you're most confident in, pick that. Then you only need to create one funnel, one campaign, and you can work harder on optimizing that one campaign. Don't try to do multiple things all at once. It's going to split your focus, and focus is so important. And obviously money and time and energy is also important. So this is like for anyone who is wondering whether I should focus on multiple things, or this is what happens with entrepreneur. We want to do multiple businesses, multiple client niches, and multiple kind of campaigns and everything. But relentless focus is very important. Do one thing very, very well, optimize it, scale it to the sky, and then move on to the other thing. It will be easy to win faster this way. Okay, those were the questions. What, you guys didn't leave any questions for me today? Shruti and Aarti. Okay, so that was the last question. Do you guys have any other questions? Let me know in the chat and I can answer them. Parvesh is asking, can we use references from any reputed source in ad copy or landing page? Um, people do use it, but they kind of use it on sales pages and funnel pages. I've never seen anyone use references in an ad copy. There's like nothing illegal about it in terms of Facebook ad policies, but um, yeah, you can use it. But see, the ad copy, you can do it to make a point, but and if it's really really needed, but in general, I would say no. Okay. So guys, if you're typing your questions, make it to all panelists and attendees so other people can also read it. Because I think right now people are sending it to all panelists, which means only we can see it. How can I pitch a client after a free trial? So it depends on how well the trial went, right? Um, So what you can do is, if the trial went well, you obviously need to send them a proposal, they accept the proposal, or if they don't accept the proposal, you can go on a call with them again, like, hey, this is what we did during the free trial. Now, this is my proposal for my paid services. Do you want to accept it? So basically the same process that we teach in the course. Usually it's discovery call to proposal to actually signing up the client. In this case, if you have a free trial in between, you still then send the proposal and get it approved and then start working with the client. There's nothing fancy over here. You just follow the process as taught in the course. In the context of keeping narrow targeting, if I'm trying to target architects and interior designers, having 3 ad sets of 12K is fine. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it depends on uh, how well your results are. And like, there is no right or wrong audience size. As I said before, if it's local, it's just what it is. You can't do anything over there. But if your real audience is nationwide, then you want to kind of have a bigger audience. I think you might be doing a lot of narrow targeting to get a 12K audience for architects and interior designers. I see a lot of people asking questions related to Shopify. Is it covered in course module? No, it's not, and we don't have any plans of including it. However, you can do like pixel integration with Shopify and run campaigns. So all of that, like the things we teach about running campaigns and doing funnels, is all can be applied to Shopify. But we don't teach Shopify directly because we are not experts in that, and we don't teach things we are not an expert at. So yeah, this way we'll have to okay. Yukti, I'm currently learning how to build SLO. After creating the full price SLO, do we have to add the new full price product in a new order form, or we can add in the previous order form only? No, you have to create a new order form. No, because the price is different. So you cannot use the original product order form. Yes, a new thank you page. Yes. So basically, however many products you have, you will need an order form for it, order confirmation. Order confirmation can be same well, but the thank you page, yes, you will have to create a new one. Swati, should I make a new IG account or convert the existing one into a business account? See, if you still want to keep posting private stuff, then just keep your current one private, because either you use it for business or for friends and family. It cannot be one. So it's your choice. But you can actually utilize the followers you have and convert it to business and clean up any weird or random posts that you had before. It really depends on you. Like, if you want to have a personal account other than business, then keep it and create a new one. Otherwise you can just convert it. Takshi, I've been receiving a lot of queries regarding MA feedback since I commented on a recent post of yours. I'm not sure what am I supposed to say, though I can share my own experience. See, so with if you like post on my content or anything, people are curious, so they want to ask actual real students experience. So one, you can choose to ignore if you don't have if you don't want to help people get in or whatever. But if you do want to answer people's post, you can convince them to buy, use your affiliate link. Obviously be honest with your experience that I have not gotten any results, I'm just starting out. Like be very honest with affiliate stuff. You want to be very honest. You can use your affiliate link to um, get people enrolled in the course, but it's totally your wish, like what you want to do. Yeah, like that is why we have given you affiliate link, so you can share your honest thoughts and get people enrolled in, and you have to give them a specific bonus that only you are giving, so they would want to use your link. So that's the thing. So a lot of our students use like do that to enroll affiliates and make a little side income from the course. Rituraj, if a client has low budget and only wants to spend $5 a day for his web dev services, is that advisable? No. Why? Because then you only will be able to test one ad set, right? It's not really and $5 a day for how long? Is it for 2 days, 7 days, 100 days? Like it matters, right? How much are they willing to spend? So I've told you guys, $100 minimum for testing budget, and otherwise $500 a month for you to do, for you to come in and do anything monumental for the client. Otherwise it's not worth it. So follow that rule. Arpita, regarding pricing of my online course for international clients, is $200 a good price to start with? It depends, right? What you're teaching, what your expertise is. Maybe you want to do it without any expertise. I think most of the people start with zero audience and zero everything, right? So I'm guessing that's the case with you. With pricing, it's relative. I cannot tell you what to charge. What feels good to you? What is the value of your product? What are the kind of results that the client or whoever purchases is going to get with your product? And how much coaching and support is involved? All of these things matter. Check out what you're trying to do some market research. What are similar courses or products which are selling well? How are they priced? What do they offer? Create an offer stack. I cover how to do an offer stack in the sales funnel module. So go through that, and whatever is included in the offer stack and the kind of value it gives to your audience, you can charge accordingly for that. Sahil, can we use a custom made funnel like landing page and thank you page in WordPress? No, yes, you can do that. There's definitely no issue with that. ClickFunnels, see, it's just easier to do things, and usually international clients, a lot of them use either ClickFunnels or similar funnel builders. That is why we teach it in the course. But you know, if it's expensive for you, then you do you. Um, Pallavi, you're writing a book and you said it takes long periods. How am I focused on one thing? Don't you do other things? How do you decide on dedicating the time for one thing? I've covered this in one of my YouTube videos, um, where I cover about how I used to think that I don't have time. I think it came out about last November or something. But it really depends on what you are doing with your time and how productive are you, and how well can you manage things. So I actually, in that video, I cover it in detail, but let me still share it. How many hours a day do you work? And then accordingly calculate the entire time you work during an entire month. Example, let's say you work 100 hours a month. This is just a random number. 100 hours a month, and then you basically see what else are you doing. For example, I do MA coaching and training. It takes X number of hours a month. Then I have, I work with my team to do different things that takes Y amount of hours. And so if those were the two things I was only doing, then I would do, oh, X plus Y is maybe equal to 60 hours a month. So then I am productive and work in total for 100 hours, but I have only real work for 60 hours. So my 40 hours are remaining. I can do anything I want with it. That can grow my business, that can grow my reach, or I want to work on a new product, whatever it is, like whatever you want to do. This is also how you basically would also see, can I take more client? Can I, create this another product or whatever? So I found out that I have time now doing this calculation. And even after writing the book, I have time pending. So, because my team has taken on a lot of my responsibilities, which is a great part about building a team, right? When you have the right team by your side, you can delegate your tasks and your time is freed up to do other things. So I do that calculation and then I assign, okay, so remaining 40 hours, maybe I can do A and I can also do B by dividing 20 hours into it. So like I do that calculation. The thing about I don't have time, it's just your mind telling you lies. You just have to be logical and focus on the data and figure out what is the actual time that I'm dedicating, and not just time that I'm sitting on my laptop, but actual time I'm working, because I don't sit on my laptop if I'm not working. It's just, I will never waste time or do anything like that. If I'm working for 2 hours, I'll be super productive, else I won't work. So that also needs to play a part in the calculation. But that's how I do time management. So you can buy your time, right? You cannot produce more time, but you can buy more time by hiring people. So you do that. And obviously you do this kind of calculation, even if you are a solopreneur or a single freelancer. Okay, so I need people to log in with their names, because if I don't see the names, I don't really know who I'm answering the question for, right? So I request you guys to do that. I'm planning to name my marketing business as Digital Biz Bloom. So I can call it social media agency. Well, it's on you, right? If you like the name, you can keep it. I think naming is a totally personal thing. What you may like, someone else may not. But yes, like it should definitely be related to the thing you want to do. You can post in the group for other people's suggestions too. Priyanka, I'm trying to install Pixel on my free website, free WordPress website. No, it won't let you. You have to pay for it. You have to do a paid WordPress website. And the process to do that is covered in the course already in the Pixel lecture. Ankit, can we buy ebook of .com and expert secrets? Yes, you can. Yes, it's fine, because right now times are tough. If you are ordering from the US anyways, it's a longer time. So yes, absolutely. If you can read it, it's fine. Do you suggest using my own profile for business page? What does that mean? You have your profile, you have a page. Since I'm working and my FB has my colleagues, remove the colleagues. Like, why do you need to add colleagues to your Facebook profile? Are they gonna pay you money? No, right? So you have to make the switch that keep Facebook for business only and remove people or block people who are not relevant to your current situation. But either ways, even if you like don't optimize your profile, you can still pitch people inside the Facebook groups, and no one outside will be able to see things, so you can still do it. But definitely profile optimization is a huge part of it. Webby, I had approached a friend's mother who is in the clothing business. No budget for marketing. So you're spending $100 of your budget of your own pocket to run ads for her? No, don't do it. Like if you're providing the service for free, the client should at least be okay with paying for the ad budget, right? if you want to run ads for her, why don't you run ads for your own stuff? Run $100 worth of ads for your own Instagram account that you can use in your portfolio, as well as it will help you. So it's great that you have the spirit of, running ads and spending money, but this is not what we want. I do get that you'll get a testimonial in this process, but you do this, work with her for organic stuff, get her testimonial in that, spend your own ad budget on your own stuff and grow your following over there. You can use that in your portfolio. So you'll kind of have two wins, like one testimonial you get via doing organic and not spend your own money building someone else's brand, and you will still be growing your followers in the process. Could you suggest any drag and drop website with which we can attach payment gateway? You can use, so see there, these are other funnel builders like Lead Pages is there, Unbounce is there, or on your WordPress website, you can like install the right theme, which has like Divi theme has a lot of drag and drop elements. So you can use that. You can also like, if you just want people to buy, just use a direct link like Instamojo product. They'll let you write a bit of sales copy on the product page. So you can do that. But if you like really want a real website, then you want to install the right kind of theme, either Elementor theme or Divi theme. Those work well. I was just trying to launch a test campaign without website or funnel. I should have a website for policy generator. So you can actually create a free website on WordPress.com and put the privacy policy over there. So that's what you can do. Okay, any other questions? I've answered all that have come in the chat. Let me know if all the questions and answers were helpful to you. You learn so much from other people's questions, so I'm glad you guys are asking all the questions. No, man. I'm thinking of starting an affiliate marketing for ClickFunnels. Is it okay if I run ads to a cold audience, but I'll do the targeting to business owner? It's fine, but with affiliate marketing, you cannot run direct ads to that. So you have to collect leads first and then send them wherever the hell you want. So do a lead magnet funnel, give them something for free, and then send them wherever you want. Thanks for answering. I have a food page on IG. Can I use the $100 to promote that page? Yes, absolutely. Why not? Do that. Cool. All right, guys, let me know in the chat if this Q&A was helpful. As always, the recording will be published tomorrow by my team in the group. And if you have any other questions, either you can submit questions beforehand with the thread that my team posts in the morning, or you can ask in the chat, but I highly recommend submitting your questions. How can we track the leads that we have generated? You create tracking that is covered in the Pixel setup. So you have to install the Pixel, so you always know what is happening on your website, how many people came up to be leads, and you can do it via setting up tracking. And how to set up tracking is taught in the Pixel lecture. Thank you for answering my questions. It was really helpful. Awesome. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye.